Welcome to HobbyEXP. You got myself, Harry.
Two.
Henry.
And Justin.
And this is our second podcast. So we did one a couple of weeks ago. So feel free to check that out if you guys want to. But this is episode 2. We're doing it again. Got a bit of news to share today, or things we want to talk about. So we've got Gundam news, we've got One Piece news, and also just want to update you guys on our hobby, as that's what this channel is all about. So Henry, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, definitely. So my hobby update, what I've been kind of doing last couple of weeks since we last spoke, was actually played my first, or mostly played first game of 40k, Warhammer 40k with my brother in my garage at home. So that was good fun. I haven't played 40k in 4 years.
How many points?
Oh my god.
It was 2,000 points, but it was me and my friend versus my brother. So it was like we had 1,000 each, and he had 2,000.
Oh,
we were a
okay.
team.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Kind of like a boss battle.
Yeah, boss battle, exactly. So that was good fun.
Did you win?
No. Oh, well, we all had fun.
Debatable.
Yeah,
Debatable.
did you
We all had fun. That's the most important one.
the moral victory was yours.
The moral victory was
Sure.
was ours, yes. But yeah, no, that, and then just that's pretty much the big thing. Been working on some painting as you do, and obviously playing locals One Piece. But yeah, that's it for me. Two, you want to go?
Yeah, no, I didn't do too much, so maybe just been playing. So I've got a backlog of games, as we all do. Backlog of games and kits.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to go through them. Small games to start, not big games. So yeah, I did have to revisit Baldur's Gate eventually because we did play that at one point and it was pretty fun.
Gosh, that's a great game.
Yeah. But the game I've been playing recently was Voice of Cards. So have you guys know Voice of Cards?
No, what's that?
Never
So
heard of
it's by Yoko Taro, the guy that did the Automata. So it's basically a card game on a tabletop.
Something spicy
So
right now.
it's pretty fun. I won't spoil it because it's very story driven.
Okay. So that's it's not my game then.
Yeah.
Not my game.
So very story driven, but as you're playing the game as if you're playing cards. So yeah. Anything from your end, Harry?
Well, Chess and I went to the Gundam demo event last weekend, so that was a lot of fun.
Shout out to Combat Company, by the way. Great event.
Yeah, no, really solid group of guys down there. It was a lot of fun, and for those who don't know, basically the Gundam TCG is coming out in July, I think it is. But at the moment, there's some demo decks that are out for people to try. So check your LGS. Yep, we've got them here. There we go. Check your LGS. They might be running an event sometime in the future where you just get access to a small deck of cards. The idea is you learn to play and play against each other. But what's exciting for us is because I think most of us have attended a beta event, which got us a set of cards. The demo decks introduced a new color, which is red. So we got some brand new cards to play with. So that was very cool, very aggressive.
Super fun.
Yeah.
It had on plays that just dealt damage with a burst. I can't remember the name of the card. I know exactly what it looks like.
Close combat?
That does sound right.
Something like that.
It's just great for removal because we've only seen bouncing as a piece of removal or resting something. So that's
Ping damage as well.
Yeah,
blue.
ping damage, exactly. So your lightning bolts from Magic, for example, or what is a One Piece equivalent?
It doesn't really have ping damage because the damage system is different.
Yeah, it's definitely
But yeah, it was great to see more Neo Zeon and Zeon cards. So that was
and Seed.
really fun to see. And Seed, actually, Outrun, and So that was good fun.
It was good fun, and we even trained out. They have a multiplayer,
That's right.
not commander format, but like multiplayer where you'll play. 4 of you can play at the same time. Very interesting way to play because if anyone has played Magic the Gathering Commander, the way you win is by being the last one alive. In the Gundam multiplayer format, it's actually the first person to knock someone out. So it makes it a really political game, which fits with Gundam.
Yeah.
So it's all about you got to try and
Time it.
and chip people down, but not so much so that you then
can't
open up for
dominate.
someone else.
Yeah.
Or unless you can dominate, just swing in one go. But you can't dominate all in one go.
Because someone might kill steal.
But theoretically,
Well, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Kill steal again.
Because that's what happened was we had someone was went gung ho and swung into Cheston, and I think they were going to swing one into each of us. But they went, swing into Cheston, and I sat there and went, well, this is great for me because I've now got lethal on board. So then the guy went, messed up, passed it Cheston then had to destroy something on my board. Otherwise, I had lethal on board. And it's like, thank you for giving me the victory. So it makes it a very interesting way to play because it is about setting up your board, but you want to get people low enough, but not set them up
You got to
be killed
calculate
by
ahead.
someone else. You got to calculate ahead. So interesting way to play compared to say if you play Commander for Magic,
And
which
we
is
all
just
play the demo decks as well, which was good. So
Balance.
everyone was like a similar sort of power level and all sort of stuff. And we had everyone had one of each, so it was good.
How many people turned up?
4? Including us.
5 in total.
5 in total.
Okay, so a smaller event.
Similar to my one, so I think we had maybe 6 people
Okay.
Not bad.
at the one I went to, which is Hobby Collectors in Fairfield. So a new little store, which is pretty nice. focused around Kill Team and I think Magic, Warhammer. Sorry, Kill Team specifically from Warhammer side.
Yeah.
And they're looking at doing Gundam as well. So if you live around the area, check them out.
Nice.
Did you win?
Yeah.
Are you winning
I was playing against Joey and that was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Joey,
Joey, where's Joey? Where's Joey?
Easy.
Don't worry
Just
about it.
easy, right? What about you guys?
Bots?
Winners?
Well, we did it.
Or was it just for fun?
It was just playing
It
for
was,
fun.
yeah. The guy the other gentleman that was there,
Yeah.
Matthew Trong, I believe his name was, or Nathan Trong, one of the two. Sorry if I forgot your name. Yeah, he rocked up. He actually had a beta box as well, but
cool.
he didn't go in as hard as Harry and I, where we have, a few to make the
Playsets and everything.
basically.
Yeah.
So when we played, we had a few games with high powered deck, and oh my goodness, they some of the guys had never seen the Wing Gundam with Hero Yui combo. And
Beautiful.
the 7-7, and you just bang, and they were just like, wait, excuse me, it does what? It was a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, when you've just played with the demo decks, I think that the power level definitely once you start throwing in those high rarity legend rare cards compared to the demo decks, but it really shows. But I think that's the point, right? The demo deck is supposed to be just a quick intro. Although there was, I think, in the red-green deck, the one where you got the pilot who lets you swing at level 5s and lower?
Yeah,
That's strong.
Arthron.
You rested unit, I believe.
No, so you can attack into unrested units.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
Arthron with his particular one, I can't remember the name of the
Aegis.
Aegis, thank you very much. That was like the baby Wing Gundam.
Baby Wing Gundam,
it was very strong when as soon as you got that out, I think because it's the demo event, there's less removal options.
Yeah.
As soon as you get that out, it became very tricky. But that's where I think what's great about Gundam is that persistent damage effect, because even though you'd swing into things, eventually you'd get weak enough where I could throw a little guy into it and finish him off.
Yeah.
Definitely makes the math very interesting when you're doing the combat damage in that game.
I think it just adds a level of gameplay as well, right?
Yeah,
Because you compare it to One Piece, where it's like, for example, 7,000 attack and defense. They're both, if they go stupid high attack, they'll have stupid high defense, and this just adds another layer of customization and just gameplay wise.
And also repair mechanic is also cool. So just a bit of depth, a bit more layers to the game, which would be really exciting to see.
Speaking of new mechanics, we got a new color.
True.
Right? And,
Purple?
And
Purple.
Purple.
Yeah, and we got some new abilities that we haven't seen yet. Support is a new one, and First Strike. So for those who don't know, you got support, where if it's support 2, for example, I'll show a card here, you rest the card, turn it sideways, and you give the certain amount of AP to a unit. So if support 2, give 2 AP to someone, which is really cool.
So just on that quickly, because when I saw the card, it's like a 3/3, and it has support 2. I want to and you're resting it, meaning you're giving up the attack.
Yes.
For a 3/3 unit.
Yeah.
It's very interesting as to why you want to do that.
So I wonder if it's because since it can't attack on the first turn, you might as well give it back to
Haste.
someone else.
So
That's what I'm thinking.
very
That's what I'm
good.
thinking.
Yeah, that
Summoning
makes a lot of
signals.
sense.
That's what I'm thinking.
We'll
as
need
well.
to check that you can.
Yeah.
Can you do it on the turn you come down?
But it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
As
it
in,
would.
why else would you use not use a swing with a 3/3? Give it to someone else, right?
I mean, it also with that though, it lets you say okay, cool. He's got a big dude. I don't want to lose a valuable piece. I can make my weaker guy big enough just to take him out and trade him out.
I think it'd be fun in the Weenie Rush sort of thing. I'm like, I want to pump this little dude.
Yeah.
He could have First Strike, for example. Next
Exactly,
that's the
next
ability,
ability.
right? First Strike is basically similar to exactly the same as Magic. If 2 units
Breach as well, just see a unique it and then do damage.
Exactly. So First Strike is when 2 units clash, I basically get to hit first before you get to hit me back, and it's just great so that you can deal that sort of chip damage.
That actually makes more sense now that support is in red where First Strike is, because I think
First
that
strike,
would be the combo.
Yeah, right.
To really punch up, right?
Yeah, but you're also saving your units as well. Instead of committing 2 units into one,
yeah.
because if it survives, it's going to do the damage back.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
I don't want a 2-for-1. I rather well just 1-for-1 sort of thing,
Exactly, yeah.
like trading wise. New color, purple.
Purple, yeah.
Introducing Iron-Blooded Orphans, which is Barbatos.
I was gonna say, I think we were wrong because I think we all had a guess as to what the color would be, and I think I said black.
Yeah, we were following more
I don't
though.
think anyone said purple, but I mean, it kind of makes sense.
think you did,
Maybe
though.
you said
Purple makes sense from
From
Digimon.
Digimon, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, purple in One Piece too, right?
But purple was in the first 4 colors of Digimon. Was
And
it
The
not?
first 5.
Oh,
Because there's red, blue, yellow, green, purple, black. So 6.
black came later.
It came in the same second. Or black came in. Didn't it come in the same time as yellow? Wasn't it yellow, purple, black were at the same time? Because the first one was red, blue, green. Like the initial Digimon box set was red,
that's
blue,
right.
green,
Yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
released like the second set, which was sets 2 and 3,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
had
yeah.
then
The other colours.
the other colours in.
Okay.
So there was 6 in total. Then you got white.
Well,
as
One
the-
Piece.
It's the same as One Piece. No, One Piece
No,
is
we got-
red, blue,
Green,
Purple, and then black, and then yellow.
Yeah.
then black.
Yeah.
Black was in 02, yellow was in 03, and
yeah.
then
Yeah. So yeah, we all swung and a miss. But Barbados, cool card.
Very cool.
great series.
Great
Yeah,
series.
great
I watched the
series.
first episode the other day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, it's pretty good. So more
Edge?
yeah, it's edgy.
How
It's edgy.
how sharp of edge we talking
Yeah,
about here?
well,
Oh.
you know, it's killing. You know, I mean, it's Gundam, but the only Gundam series I'd watched before that, because I'm a noob to Gundam anime, was oh god,
Build Divers.
Build
Yeah,
Fighters.
Build Fighters,
Build
which is the one where they actually build the Gunplas and play. And
Low
I'm thinking-
key, best series.
I was gonna say it's very good.
Only
It's very
because I'm the type of person that if I'm going to build something, whether it's Warhammer, for example, or play the cards, something like that, I need more usability out of them. And I have a bit of a
Okay.
disconnect
Yeah.
from Gundam right now, simply because I build it, it goes on display, and some people like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I like Warhammer. I can build it, I
And
can
play
play
it.
with it,
Yeah.
and do something with it.
Yeah.
One Piece, I'm collecting and also playing the game.
Yeah.
While Gundam, it just sits there. While this, imaginary whole new
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
I can actually use the thing to attack, to like fight people with and all sorts of stuff.
It's actually I was doing a little bit of a Google search as looking at like Gundam animes and like how they rank because there's a lot of them.
Oh, there's
And I was
so
like,
many.
oh, which one should I watch?
And different
this
universes as well.
one, but this the Build Fighters one
Yeah.
is like top 10 on a lot of lists, and I'm like,
I mean,
that's crazy.
it's one of the series that I always recommend to newbies or beginners to
yeah,
Gundam,
for sure.
just because you have the element of Gunpla,
yes.
the series itself in terms of like the characters and the lore
Yeah,
behind it. So it's a good show to start off with
Yeah.
people. It's actually one of the more enjoyable ones
Yeah.
because a lot of the older series are very political and that's not everyone's
Yeah,
jam.
Yeah.
So
very the whole we're from space and we're born from Earth. A very some sort of racist tones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
It's an underlying kind of.
yeah, for sure. But the
Yeah.
series have been around for so long. I mean,
Yeah.
it would make sense. It would touch some of these sort of more sensitive topics.
yeah, that's right.
for sure. Hence why, speaking of a series, that thing that I want to get into, 30-Minute Fantasy is a model kit where basically you get like a tin pet, or a Metabots terms tin pet, a base form, and you can buy armor sets to change them into different things. So a warrior into a Viking, a warrior into like a paladin. I think that's really cool. And yeah.
Check it out. Fully into it.
Yeah.
So.
Metabots, your beloved Metabots.
Oh, Metabots
We
is
couldn't
a
get through a
great
podcast
series.
without talking about bloody Metabots.
Zoids, we'll go with Zoids next time.
Bro.
Zoids, hey, ho. Zoids are a bit
Zoids-
better than Metabots.
You are seriously mistaken, sir.
Divisive.
Divisive.
Yeah.
I'll say if you agree with Zoids being better, put a comment down. Say Zoids are better. because they
Metabots
are.
for the boys.
No.
Anyway, other Gundam
Off
news.
track, sorry.
Gundam art. We've seen a leak recently where the Gundam MA form is different from the beta
From
form.
the beta set,
Well, it
yes.
wasn't really a leak, but more like a reveal from a magazine.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
it's official.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, an official reveal, but yeah, it's interesting because the assumption was going in that all the cards printed in the beta event are going to be printed the same, well, most likely printed the same, in the actual release.
Yeah.
There's talk around the alt arts potentially being different, and it's still not clear yet whether the alt arts are different.
Because if that is true,
That's crazy.
huge.
Yeah, beta event's
For
quite
collectors,
huge.
huge for
Yeah,
collectors.
huge for collectors.
Yeah.
So what they did do is they revealed that the Gundam MA form, the beta art, is different to the actual release art,
Yeah.
which is interesting to see, and if they're going to do any more of those, but just mean those beta cards are going to be a little bit more valuable, I
Yeah.
guess, if they're
Speaking
different.
of tweaks, they're also adding that little link thing at the bottom.
Aesthetic changes, things
Yes.
that make the
Yeah.
cards flow better, appear.
I was going to say they released a lot of changes to what
Yeah.
the cards. The official cards will look like compared to the beta cards.
Yeah.
Which
Like
is-
color changes as well on the certain cards.
The point of the beta event was to, I guess,
Try it out.
Try it out, see
Like
what
a beta.
works.
Like a beta.
Exactly like beta.
Yeah.
Basically worked out that, and I agree. So, for example, we'll probably have some cards flash up and show you the differences. But
Editing.
exactly. So, when pilots pair or link with units now, the new cards, or say new cards, when it actually releases, the official cards when they release, it's going to have a little link icon down the bottom
Yeah,
left.
like an arrow to indicate.
Yeah,
that
Like,
it's-
indicate that this is what you need to be able to link. Because at the
Yeah.
moment now, it can be a bit confusing if
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
quite
yeah.
know what
Oh,
you're
yeah.
looking for.
Monkey brain, confused.
Exactly. So there's that change. They've done some changes with some of the wording they've cleared up. So I think breach, they've cleared up the wording, and
Yeah.
now it says specifically you deal the breach damage to the first shield rather than just
Yeah.
the shields.
Yeah.
Also changes some of the colours for some of the I think the HP.
Make it
attack
readable
power.
more,
Make it more
yeah.
readable.
Yeah.
for
The size is larger as well.
size is
The
larger
size
because
as
the
well.
Gundam was in the Gundam card was blue and the text was in blue with a black background and it was kind of hard to see. So now they've
Yeah.
made it white.
Yeah.
But a few they've changed a lot of. Well, there's quite a few changes to
Looking
make it a little
forward
bit
to it,
neater, and make it more easy to read. And I guess that's the point of the beta event was to work that out. But it does mean that I think those beta cards are going to probably be a bit more. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to the discussion we were having before is like, are the beta cards going to be kind of cards you can use when the game officially launches in official tournaments?
I feel like it'd be very strange if it wasn't.
Yeah.
It would, except Bandai are pretty keen generally in their other games not to errata cards. They either ban them outright if they don't want them in the game, or will they actually use this as a full beta in the sense of the cards won't be legal when the game releases? Which would be
I think they'll keep it.
Decision to make. I don't know if they'd do that, but I know it's an argument.
I personally think they should keep it the same, just because in One Piece we had errata cards before too, and people
pre-release
as
well.
Have we had errata?
Nami pre-errata, the law.
Digimon has it as well.
They reprinted with the fixed text, but
Yeah,
collectors still like the old one, so they call it the pre-alpha.
Yes.
Beta.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah, so I think they'll probably do the same. The new sets or the official release will have the updated text, but the beta will still be usable. It won't look as nice because they'll be missing the link icon. But
all those beta cards now, if that happens, I mean, already going to be worth more money.
yeah,
And especially if the alt arts are different as
Yeah,
well.
that's
if they are, I'm
that's
so happy with
I think
the
we
card.
might have touched on this in the last one. I can't remember if we did discuss it, but there was rumors saying that this going to be different, and then there was not a confirmation. We said, oh no, it's been confirmed now that they're going to be the same, but now it's still back out in the open.
now
It's just like
Yeah.
people really don't know, and I think Bandai aren't making an official decision yet, and I wonder why. I wonder if it's to stop scalping potentially. Is it anti-scalping meta?
Or maybe they don't care.
want that.
Maybe.
Or they just. Or they
Beta box is pretty hard to get as it is. But
Anyway, yeah.
If that is true, that the beta art will be different from the main release, oh my gosh, the price of those boxes will go even higher because the chance of it.
Because some of those alt arts we were talking earlier, I think the overflowing affection, you're looking at maybe 3,000 AUD.
Crazy.
Gundam Aerial is also up in the thousands as well.
The Wing Gundam, because
Wing
ability is
Gundam.
just so strong.
Because it's just so strong. So all those cards will, anyone who, it'll be funny, those people who did buy them for $2,000 now will be laughing if they end up being $5K because of them. So, but who knows? We'll find out when they reveal it or when the set drops. I personally hope that they do keep the alt arts the same for the release as well. Because it would be a shame to miss out on some cool art, and also those artists, but all those effort into doing
exactly.
The aerial alt art is amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine if the artists put all that effort into it, and it's only going to have maximum of.
Maybe it's a special event or something.
I mean, I agree with you. I prefer if the old art stays the same, but the actual card itself, the standard card, they just change the art if they
the
wish.
standard cards change.
So everyone can collect it. They can collect both versions. I mean, the old art's probably the chase card anyway.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
I was going to say, not financial advice. Don't go buying things. They're going to go on. This is not financial advice. Invest your money smartly. Don't listen to us.
Gamble responsibly.
Exactly right. Anyway,
Speaking of speculations and financial predictions, Friday beta battle pre-regional speculations. Oh my gosh, that's a bit of a mouthful.
Yes.
You saw that?
Yes. So it just came up on the Bandai app. Has announcements for events, and it just came up on the Bandai app saying, here is this event. I can't remember the full name of it now. Where is it? We've got Friday Beta Battle Pre-Regional. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Cool. So that came up.
Terrible name.
There's terrible name.
Forced to be a Friday.
Forced to be a Friday. Exactly.
We're doing this on a Monday.
So there's no news yet as to what that actually entails. I did do a bit of digging online, and it's all speculation. Someone on Reddit, they did say they asked their local game store. Yeah, exactly. So this could all be hearsay, but he said he asked his local game store. They said, oh, it's got not much structure to it. Literally, it's just come in. It's an event or competition event. But they didn't say, you have to be constructed decks, or maybe it's only demo decks. There's no information on that. I think he said his LGS was going to purely do just the demo decks, because that way you don't have people who are going to have massively overpowered constructed decks who did get to the beta event, for example.
It does kind of depend when it releases, right? Because
I mean, they have the date of up till 6th of June, I believe.
It's May
so
till
June.
Yeah, so it has to be.
It has to be before the actual.
So demo decks makes more sense.
Demo decks and maybe the starters, because I know the starter deck release and the actual first booster box release are two separate things.
Yeah,
but they're in July though still,
not
and this is in June. This
Oh.
is May to June, so this is now. So I think.
Yeah. So that means it could be just the starter decks, right? Because if the
The starter decks are July, aren't they?
Oh no,
they're before.
They're June, I think.
They are June.
They're before the booster box. So that's what I mean. It could be that.
Yeah. So
Could
I
be
mean,
that.
the name says pre-regional, so I'm thinking maybe it's like a pre-release.
Yeah.
So the starter decks released before the boosters. I think
Yeah.
was it a month, 2 weeks or a month? Can't remember.
But then why have it in May?
In May,
Yeah.
Because then nothing.
Exactly.
Well, unless it's like the One Piece Super Pre-release, where you could buy the starter decks at the event to participate in the event.
If
Yeah.
that was the case, you'd think they'd make that a bigger announcement rather than just
You
like
would.
shadow dropping it
Yeah.
on the app, which
You
is what they've
would,
effectively
you
done.
You would, but you never know.
Yeah.
But then,
But Bandai uses the TCG app, so TCG Plus. So if you do want to follow along and keep track of the events,
Yeah.
make sure you register an account on that, download the app, and
Favorite your local game store.
favor your game
Autumn.
store. Yeah.
I was gonna say
From
so-
experience, it's a first come first serve
Well, yeah,
basis,
always,
which is
yeah.
pretty annoying at
And
times.
always contact your local game store.
Yeah.
Some of them use it as the main form of tracking who's registered.
the source of truth.
Always
Yeah.
contact them just in case. I know some stores do, some stores don't. Always contact them. Contact.
I was gonna say, if it does become like a competitive thing and you have to use a demo deck or whatever, I'm sure we'll put a video up of us playing it and you can kind of decide which
And
one's
pick the
best.
red green one. 'Cause
Yeah.
the red green.
you say.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely the red
white
green.
blue was pretty good.
I mean, I did win my game with white blue,
Yeah.
but I think red green's pretty good. But
That game is spicy.
Yeah.
But something else that this person on Reddit mentioned about the event, they said that their LGS said that the EX base promo and EX resource promo, they were only available at the I think there was a Bandai Fest in America,
Fest, yeah.
Card
Yeah.
Fest.
In Orlando.
They're only available there. Apparently, they're going to be the participation prizes for these events too. Again, complete hearsay, speculation. Someone mentioned on Reddit. Never believe everything you see on the internet.
Shenanigans.
So it could be complete rubbish.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. It would be pretty cool if they were there because it means we get access to them.
Because I mean, Australia is so out of the way, or Oceanic region,
Yeah.
so we don't get all these
Yeah, we're never going to get
events
get
that
big
Bandai
events,
hosts.
yeah.
So we miss out on all of these promos. So hopefully they do
But
that.
we had to get them in very obscure ways compared
Yeah.
to like Japan and One Piece.
Or
they have, like,
expensive
in
ways.
their
Yeah.
Shonen Jump comics, but
The true card, the credit card.
Yeah, the true that's
eBay, baby.
Because I think there's EX
I put
base.
in my credit card in attack mode.
So I think that EX base in English about a month ago when I looked was 1,000 AUD.
Holy shoot.
1,000 AUD on eBay.
Yeah. The prices will go down if they do release it, which is
Yes.
good.
Exactly.
And it opens up for more everyone's collected as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because at the moment, if it's only in Orlando, then only people that would attend the event could get it.
Yeah.
And
Which
for
would-
us, it's $1,000 just to fly to Orlando.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Fingers crossed it comes there, but check the app, check the website.
Yeah.
We'll most likely do announcements as well, just to keep everyone in the loop.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah,
more
something
information
cool coming
drops.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need the information. Yeah.
All right. So
Speaking of new things and results that we're talking about
Yeah.
right now, OP10,
Yeah.
One Piece Set 10, and the post ban.
let's talk One Piece, baby.
We've had a whole lot of new decks that weren't really on the radar, but now have sort of come more into the more into the light.
We've had like a big season, or at least a few tournaments overseas in Europe and North America for the OPO10 post ban meta. I think we literally have the Australian one tomorrow in Perth, which unfortunately none of us are going to. Perth's a bit of a bugger to get to for us, but a lot of interesting results coming from that. I think the main kind of consensus from everyone is that like it's wide open. In the sense
a very
that,
diverse meta.
Very
Yeah.
diverse.
Yes.
Lots
Which
of
is
things
good.
you can kind of
It's
do.
what you want.
It's a good format.
It
It's a good
is
format.
good. It's a bit weird to kind of like if you're preparing for an event, trying to like be super strategic.
It's great,
Yeah.
yet frustrating, right? Because
Yes,
I'm
I agree with
unfortunately the type of person that I don't know many of the decks very well. I know how to play the game, obviously. and I
Also
play
off meta. Off meta. This guy's always off meta.
He's an off-meta warrior.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Also Nami simp, so
Yeah.
Whoa.
Basic Guna.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I like off meta decks, but yeah, it's difficult for someone like myself who plays off meta quite a lot and to jump into it to understand the meta. I just need to practice games of one deck and just get used to it.
Interestingly enough, the meta being so diverse actually lends itself a little bit to like if you're like a really good one trick of a specific deck. So in America, one of the regional winners was actually Nami player, which Chesson rejoiced.
Exodia! Obliterate!
Everyone else, does not rejoice. I don't know if I've explained this to you, Harry.
You don't like
Nami
Solitaire?
is the mill deck. You mill yourself. That's how you.
Oh, okay,
You play
right.
solitaire.
You're playing solitaire.
Oh, okay,
so
so
you effectively try to just you draw away cards in your deck to win, and it's always that niche kind of it's okay, but like it can never be too powerful because then it's like a really awful.
Because also they're non-interactive. Those kind
not
of things.
interactive.
That's right.
Yeah. In Digimon it was Billsymon, the same thing. Where it's basically the Billsymon player was, if I mill the right cards, I win the game, and I don't really interact with you at all.
Yes,
it's just you're gonna watch me just do my thing, and if I'm lucky, I do it, and you lose.
Exactly.
If I whiff, then congratulations.
Exactly.
At first, it was like one of the strongest decks that came out, just because that mechanic alone was just too strong, self-controlled. Yeah, then they start restricting it.
That's it. Anyway, but so Nami won, and the guy who won with Nami is like a very considerably powerful, very good player with Nami. Like
he's just very consistent. He clearly knows the deck.
He knows the deck very well.
And the
Yeah,
matchups
yeah,
and all
yeah,
sorts of
Faction specialist.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And then so that was kind of a bit of a surprise. But Nami does well into slower metas, so a lot of people are playing Bonnie and Shanks and stuff, which can be a slower decks. And then we've seen like I believe Lim.
Lim is popping off. Lim is crazy.
In the London regional over in Europe.
He went 15 rounds.
15 rounds.
Piloted by Flesh.
Wait, 15 hours.
Yeah.
1-5.
And is it best of one?
So best of one in Swiss, and then top cut is best of three.
Did he drop a single?
No.
I think he dropped a game or two in top cut.
Okay.
But like he won every round.
But to get there,
undefeated.
Yeah.
So 9 rounds undefeated, I think, for Swiss, and then I think and then top 32, top cut. But phenomenal deck that wasn't really on people's radar, and also he played a very interesting build that didn't run any top end.
Yeah.
So it was like very much like a go wide build, defend the board and win through like I guess real like fundamental understanding. Of
And
the
some
game.
interesting cards that no one really picked up, which is the
Artificial fruit?
Smile Fruit.
The Smile Fruit,
and Orochi.
Yeah. That combo together is an interesting combo. It's kind of like a deck thinning / guy get to check what my life is.
When we first saw it, we were
it was weird.
we were talking between each other trying to determine why it was chosen, but
So the premise of the deck is you play Orochi and you're going through your deck to find that artificial double fruit. You can go through your entire deck. You can say, "Oh, I didn't find it." If you didn't find it, it's most likely in your life, which means you have additional information to work with.
Yeah.
And Orochi is also a 2K counter.
Yes.
If you play the the artificial fruit, it looks at the top 5 for a smile, which really isn't that great.
you don't use it. You just use it as a card to trash.
Yes, because when I first saw it, I was like, "What the heck? This doesn't make any sense." But then I realized, so Lim, the leader, you need bodies on the board. So it's a 1-drop body, the Orochimo, the Searcher. So you can already put it on the board, and it can help proc other effects that Lim wants to play. But in addition to that, it lets you search your whole deck. It's literally only card in one piece.
Yeah.
But there's one other. But anyway, it lets you search your whole deck for one specific
it's an odd
card.
ability.
It's a very
It's not
unique
popular.
ability.
It's not
Unique.
And then from there, you can actually, because you should know all the ratios in your deck for cards. You can actually determine what's in your life based off what you see in your deck. And then from there, if you pick up the 1 Smile, which is the only target, it means you go card neutral. So you don't lose a card when you play the card. Because you get to actually take a card.
And Lim has a lot of cards that trashes cards to draw 2 cards.
Exactly, yeah.
Or trash 2 cards.
So that's the whole point of it. It's very kind of interesting. It's very high level kind of,
Big brain.
Big brain,
Sorry, so you can go through your entire deck.
Yes, to search for.
And so, as you said, if you know your ratios, you can tell what's in your.
Exactly.
Your
So
I'm just trying to think. It's Digimon. You go through and be like, okay, well, I know I'm going to have a Gaia Force, or I'm going to have this option.
You don't know which order it is.
And do you reveal it to your does your opponent get to see this as well when you search through
your deck.
Well, when you're searching through it.
Only what you take.
What do you take out?
So
it's hidden information. So
that is really strong.
Yeah,
information.
very strong. Yeah.
Okay.
And good players will manipulate that to their advantage.
You can honestly, it's literally just counting cards.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Right? You know how many QK counters you've got. You know how to counter it effectively. You know how to do a lot of things more effectively. And you wouldn't know what's upcoming because you shuffle the deck.
Yeah.
But you at least know what's in there left.
Yep. So very interesting, very interesting deck, and good on him. He's a great player. He played at Worlds and stuff. So obviously. A good player playing a very unique deck, which has worked out for him.
Big brain.
And then the other, I think the other thing that I want to talk about was Purple Leafy popping off. But
Purple
Leafy,
super
consistent deck.
Yeah.
Winning I think back-to-back regionals in the US recently. And I'm a big Purple Leafy believer. So is too.
Yeah.
Are there any big spice changes from OP9?
No, it's a ratio. It's just the ratio changes. But I think it's more the matchups because this meta is so diverse that there will be so many decks that you can't see coming up.
Yeah.
You'll see decks that just come in and do well.
Yeah.
Some decks will come in to counter that, but it's like a scissors paper rock. but
Yeah.
it's a wider circle.
Yeah.
So you can't really predict what's going to be in there,
Yeah.
and some decks will pop off better than others.
And it will reward fundamentals of knowing, being able to assess on the fly in your games how to react to
And I
certain
think
situations.
that's what this meta is right now. If you know how to play One Piece well and the fundamentals, you should be like, oh, okay, I kind of know what I should be doing in this particular
Yeah.
matchup.
Yeah. Definitely not like a tier 1 format. Like there's not like a deck that's overwhelmingly the best or anything like that.
Some people like that though. Some and some people don't.
Yeah, just a bit. As I said, there's definitely pros and cons to it. But yeah, it's good to see P-Luffy popping off. I mean, that's probably what I'll be playing in the most upcoming.
Doffy's popping off as well.
Doffy's doing alright.
Which is
Yeah.
surprising considering he got neutered.
He lost one card.
Yeah.
He lost like
Albeit a very good card.
maybe the best card in the deck, his deck, but it didn't hurt too bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't. I mean, he won the Paris regionals.
Who wouldn't want a card where you play this out, I play and then I play another body out from my hand? It's
Stand
2 for 1.
active, so it can't be swung into as well.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean it's crazy good. Like I'm not going to say
On-play
it's not.
effects trigger from it as well, so it's just like bang, bang, bang. You know,
It's not terrible. I get it, but like it's definitely a lot. Like
People
it's
clearly-
not fair, I would say.
People have clearly found a path forward, which is great. Which is great.
Yeah.
Simple.
Saka
Sop.
Sop, yeah, that's the other one. The Italians again have been cooking up some
Yeah.
decks, and they've cooked up this. I believe the Italians. So if it wasn't the Italians, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was. But the Sakazuki kind of version of Usopp, making him more kind of removal based as opposed to
Everyone
I guess,
misses black blue.
That- yeah.
A black blue leader that can attack. Sakazuki was the last one.
Very strong color combination.
very strong
Yeah.
color combination. Probably the strongest color combination.
I'd say so, just because
in the game.
So blue is known to do a lot of bounce removal.
Bot deck
Black-
is just the strongest. Color.
Yeah, but blue focuses on costs, but black reduces costs.
Yeah.
So combine them together,
It's a great combo.
you're hitting a lot of targets.
So Sakasop is a very control heavy kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Sakazuki back in the day, he allowed you to reduce costs, draw a card,
Yeah.
and that like
But
on a leader
Yeah.
without any big investment.
Yeah.
Right, which is
premier removal
Yeah.
leader of all
so
time.
good.
Yeah,
Very strong. I mean, maybe you could argue red, purple law was as good as removal and tempo.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's here or there. But yeah, Saka Usopp, which is an interesting build. A few people did pretty well with it.
Yeah.
And actually, one thing that I didn't write down or think about, but Lucci as well.
It's popping off.
Lucci got hit pretty badly with some of the ban cards like
Yeah.
Warrior and Ice Age specifically.
Oh.
But he can still play, in my opinion, the best card in OPO in One Piece TCG, which is Rebecca Blocker.
Yep.
The most ridiculous card. Anyway, so you can still play that. And Lucci's been doing really well. And actually has a decent matchup into a lot of the stronger decks, being Shanks, Bonnie, P-Luffy.
yeah. So as it goes back to a cycle, more cards come up, like more decks that come out, some will just counter it.
Yeah.
It's really hard to predict. So
Yeah.
regionals come up, look at the results, you see, what's popular, but at the same time, the next regional that comes up, it might not be the same.
Exactly.
Speaking of predictions, EB02
Yeah, EB02.
is sneaking up really close now.
Yeah,
9th of
2
May.
weeks away.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 9th of May. I
No,
believe, is
really?
the official date.
Oof. Okay.
And it introduced, I guess, a more meta.
My favourite.
leader, the green
Looking
purple
forward to
Luffy.
it. Green, purple,
You
Luffy.
two and your Luffy.
Yeah,
yeah.
Obsessions, man.
Love Luffy. I think it'll be really interesting because he's going to come in because obviously we know what happened in Japan with Green Purple Luffy,
Yep.
and he's still very strong now in Japan.
But now we're banned with that as well. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
slightly different.
So there'll be differences.
But
which
if
I think-
anything, that kind of helps his matchup a little bit because, Green Purple Luffy was really hates hard removal.
yeah.
If you can hard remove his Sanji Pudding on 5 straight away, you hurt him bad.
That's his core card. That's his core card. I would say that's his
Yeah,
core
hurt
card.
him bad,
So
hurt
we've
him
been
bad.
studying the deck. And that's his key card.
That card, if you get 2 of those out, your leader effect is free,
Yeah.
and the leader effect is absolutely bonkers. It's one of the really
So for
strong
the kids
leader
at home, what is
effects. The leader effect is you -2 Don. Your leader gets 1,000 power for the whole turn, so it makes him a 6,000 power.
Until the
leader.
opponent's next turn.
End of opponent's next turn. So
So it's like Whitebeard.
Whitebeard, yeah, he's a 6k base leader, and you get to restand 2 Don that you've
Yeah.
already used.
Oh.
So
But you need straw hat characters
yeah,
on the board. So
the effect doesn't work unless your board is all strong.
Straw hats. Yeah. So very
super
trade
fine.
locked, which is good.
That's fine.
Which
I
is
mean,
good.
yeah.
That's fine.
We like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see him come in the meta, and he's fast.
Yeah.
He's tempo, but also fairly aggro leader. in the sense
Gotta go
of,
fast, or what?
He can do some crazy swings with the new Rush Luffy as well that comes out.
Yeah.
And
He wouldn't go over 6-8 Don usually, but
Yeah.
so knowing that deck, you have to balance between the fundamentals of attacking and when to reduce your Don.
Yeah.
Because if you go too negative, you'll never be able to climb back up again.
It
So
kind of reminds you like Raging, right?
Yeah.
'Cause it-
kind of
exactly, yeah. So you can't just go into the deck going, I'm just going to aggro and win the game.
No.
You got to balance. You got to find the balance. And interesting enough, at first in Japan, everyone underestimated this deck.
Yeah, wrote him off.
Like even in EB01 for English, all the leaders were trash. Sorry, if anyone plays
100% trash.
any of those leaders, they're trash. But
What, Hannibal and
Hannibal,
Kyros, and I don't even know the last one.
Odin,
Odin, yeah.
Yeah.
he was surprisingly okay.
Off Meta King over here.
So yeah,
But it's not the first time the Japanese meta has missed something that the Western meta then picked up. 'Cause the
Yeah.
same thing happened in
Yeah.
Digimon. I think I mentioned it in the last podcast as
Yeah.
well, but very much a case of Japanese meta comes out first, it's solved, comes to the West, we've had more time to look at it,
yeah,
and therefore come up with counters to it.
Exactly.
Analyzing it.
And analyze it. So it doesn't surprise me that someone's gone, okay, well, if this is what the meta's going to look like, and the West has kind of gone, well,
Yeah.
we're going to try and...
I'll play by truck.
So, funnily enough, that's actually my prediction for.
Yeah.
I think Green Purple Luffy is going to come in. Everyone's really hard to play it. It's really strong, but I think because there's like so many kind of very understandable counters to it. Excuse me. I think it's going to be like really tough as a Green Purple Luffy player.
Yeah.
People are going to be like already prepared for it.
Yeah.
everyone's prepared for it.
Yeah.
Also, the bands, Japan didn't have those bands,
Correct, yeah.
so the meta will be quite different. But yeah, Japan took a while before Green Purple kicked off at release.
Yeah, yeah. But interestingly enough, in their Japan nationals, so the one that you had to, all the best players in Japan played to qualify to
get into
Worlds,
Yeah,
half the event was like Green Purple Luffy.
yeah. Everyone was playing it. So-
And maybe half is too many to say, but like top cut was like 10.
A significant
10
percentage.
Top cut, I think it was like there was like almost 10 Green Purple Luffys, which
Yeah.
is insane.
That's
no
a
one
heavy
thought that.
weighting.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Nobody thought that. Look, he didn't win. He came like second.
RG Smoker was the winner,
Smoker one, yeah.
which was
But that was a full on meta read. That
yeah.
was.
And funny enough, that was the only RG Smoker in the whole tournament, I believe.
Yeah.
So
So-
th-
What a Chad.
Yeah.
RG Smoker was a counter pick to Luffy?
Yeah, full
yeah,
on
in a
meta.
way, yeah. And he was
So,
the only
so
one.
he went in going,
Yeah.
hey, okay, right.
Yeah,
He's
He's
like-
just like, look, I'm gonna go in this knowing that I'm gonna counter this one deck. Maybe I'll die to the rest of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna counter this
Yeah.
one deck.
Yeah.
And let's go.
Yeah.
Which is always an interesting approach when you're going into
Yeah,
events like this.
exactly,
And you
yeah.
pick the anti-meta deck.
And what?
Yeah.
Really,
It worked,
Yeah,
yeah.
paid off.
Really paid off.
Sometimes
really.
pays off, sometimes, as you say, you end up not going into that
Yes.
deck and just
Yeah.
get
Just
wrecked.
gets mushed, yeah.
My regional event when we all went to Melbourne.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good that we're getting EB02. OP11 won't be following too long after that, but the biggest change that I see between Japan and the West is that we're getting the starter
Starter
decks.
decks, yeah.
So the new
Yes,
starter decks are
yes.
coming to English first.
Yeah.
There's
So-
Bunny, Buggy, Blackbeard, Yamano, and
Shanks.
Shanks.
Yeah.
It'll be very
and,
different.
And,
So-
and purple black Luffy.
Oh, it's that Luffy. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool, cool, cool.
So we'll see what support they get. I mean those additional starter decks absolutely skyrocketed Doflamingo into
yeah,
tier
Purple
one
Luffy
decks.
as well. Purple Luffy
and
as
Purple
well.
Luffy exactly, yeah. So you never know, it might be. And Shanks is already a fairly strong leader. So is Bonnie. So
Yeah,
It's cool because we're getting it before Japan.
We are
which is
getting it before
weird.
Japan.
yeah. So
It is
the West will be
it is
cooking
a new-
beforehand.
It is a new precedence
Yeah.
for us.
And obviously, we will be in OP11. We'll be inheriting or the new tier 0 deck, which is the Snake Man Luffy, the blue
Purple Luffy.
will be
Yeah.
coming in. Maybe it's disingenuous to call him T0, but he's very strong.
Yeah.
Him coming into the meta as well with the new cards. It'll be nice. It'll be a fun time
Yeah.
to play One Piece. That's for sure.
Because at the moment, English was always looking at
It
Japan.
was always a good time.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But like, it'll be maybe fun's not the right word. Maybe an interesting time.
Yeah.
Like,
It will be interesting because now
for-
we have to
for-
cook beforehand.
What did he do? Snake Man Luffy.
Snake Man. Oh, he's a 6,000 base leader all the time,
Wow,
so
huge,
already pretty
huge,
strong.
huge, huge.
3
Three
life
life.
though, only 3 life. But if you have 8 or more Don, you can you look at the top 5. So before you start your turn, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You pick a Straw Hat character card, and then you rearrange the resting
again,
either on the top or the bottom. You get to
Super
choose.
faction heavy.
So you're drawing 2 cards.
No. So the card you draw has to be Straw Hat, but you don't. Everything else you can play other things in that top thing.
okay,
So effectively, you draw from if you have 8 Don or more, you draw 2 cards a turn.
That's wild.
Can you choose to put half those cards to the
Oh,
bottom?
no, it has to be one or the other?
One or the other?
One or
Okay,
the other,
so it's not like an amazing filter where you can go, okay, well,
No,
these
no,
things
no.
are
That's
trash.
It's still great filter.
It's still great.
So
Yeah,
the thing is
but-
that the combo that everyone runs is you get there and then you play the 9-drop Sanji, which is a strike character, which plays off the top of your deck a 9-drop or less character.
Onto the
So
field.
you effectively play 2 9-drops. For
Yeah.
Scary.
fun. And the second 9-drop people usually play
Big
is the
Mom.
Big Mum.
Yeah.
And Big Mum lets you gain a life by
Trash one
minusing
of
a Don,
theirs.
and you also get to, no, not trash. You get to put something.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah, you do trash a card, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's effectively, in the past we've seen, small life leaders kind of fall behind because you run out of card draw and advantage and
yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
But with this being able to replenish your life, And,
two cards.
and building a board of like 2 9Ks.
He's also a 6K base, so it's very hard to swing into.
Very hard.
So
So it just reminds me of just RP Luffy all over again, right?
Yeah, but better. He's much better.
he's much better. So he's going to be the dominant deck go
Yeah.
for, but we don't know because the star decks could change things around. We haven't seen all the cards revealed in the star decks yet.
Exactly.
I am very curious to see how the purple black Luffy will play. I
But,
do like his ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be interesting.
The biggest weakness for the purple range or the Luffy range was green. So Acot's kid.
Yeah.
So if we see a really strong card in Bonnie, maybe she could be the one that counters
Yeah.
blue purple Luffy.
Yeah, interesting.
We'll just have to wait and see with reveals going forward.
We will, yeah, so I think that's probably all that's happening in One Piece now. Oh, I say that. We spoke about it a little bit for a while, but I do know there are some early regionals coming up online for us in start of May, so I'll be playing definitely 1 or 2 of those.
It's back to back. So
back,
regionals on a Saturday, 3rd of May, and online Treasure Cup on 4th of
Yeah, so both online, which is a bit unfortunate, but I think I'll definitely play one of them. I probably maybe 2, but I'll definitely play one.
For me, I just want the participation prizes at least. 'Cause
Fair,
there are some
fair,
new cards
fair.
that I kind of want, and Adios, Lim. So before One Piece has promo cards that you have to get from events or store tournaments.
While Japan gets them from Shonen Jump magazines.
Yeah.
So much nice.
So we have to attend those events. So.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. And if we do well, I'm sure we'll make a video or something. But fingers crossed. We'll see.
Anything new in the plastic world?
So yeah, we've had some leaks at the moment. So back to 40k. So the year of chaos, as they say at the moment. So Death Guard and World Eaters had their rules leaked. Death Guard players very happy. Rules look very strong. World Eaters players. Not so much, less happy. It seems like, we always joke about the Codex writers. You have the win team and the bin team. So we think the Death Guard got the
winning kid?
Yeah, I think the Death Guard got the win team and the World Eaters might have got the bin team. But yeah, so we'll see when it comes to out when it fully drops. But I think if you're not playing at the ultra competitive level, I think a lot of this. Well, it does matter. I don't think it's like the be all end all. I think the 40k hobby likes to follow that competitive train and go, this is this is a army's 5% better, so it's a lot stronger. Blah blah blah. If you're just playing your casual 40k games, I don't think it makes much of a difference because you need the skill to be able to squeeze out those 5% to make a difference. Yeah. But sometimes you do get codexes that drop that are just absolute garbage and are really hard. We have had a couple of those so far in this edition. And I think. Was it AdMech last edition maybe? I can't remember now. One that dropped and it was just terrible, absolutely terrible, and we felt bad for all the AdMech players. So hopefully, when the World Eaters drops and we get all the information, it's not as bad as what the leaks potentially are showing it to be. Yeah. But if you're a Death Guard player, well done, good job, congratulations, you've done really, really well.
Solid team.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good. Our Stinky Boys are stinkier than ever. But no, so it'll be interesting to see, and people are obviously wondering what's going to happen next with the Thousand Suns. Like, the 1,000. Yeah. Are they going to have the win team or the bin team writing them? Because they're the ones that will be coming out afterwards.
I was going to say, I hope they get the bin team so that my beloved Space Wolves get the win team, which I think will be right after the 1,000 Suns.
Yes.
So
Space Wolf love
yeah, no, because I think there was a smaller sniff of a rumor, but maybe a box set between. 1,000 Suns and Space Wolves because it's supposed to come out really soon. And obviously, narratively, that's a very...
Makes sense.
Oh, that'll be interesting, yeah.
Okay. So, fingers crossed that happens because, I love my Space Wolves. But
it would be the second Space Wolves box set for them because they've already had their...
Yeah, their big...
Their big army box has already been, announced.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be interesting for them to be dropping 2, but...
Yeah. Well, you never know. I mean, because they're going to have a lot of new models, right? Because it's, I guess, a fuller range refresh.
Yes, yeah. So ones we've got announced so far, they have said there are more coming. Yes, so I think everybody's hotly awaiting if Thunderwolf Cavalry are going to make it or not.
Yeah.
I don't think they're... I think they're either... If they do come back, they're going to be different to what they were. I don't think they'll come back as like a unit of 3.
Yeah. Right.
You might now get this is a lone Thunderwolf Cavalry dude, potentially, because they're going to have to Primarisize them, which make them bigger, because even the old models, that Marine on the Wolf is smaller than the Firstborn Marine.
Exactly.
He's tiny. So if they were to have a Primaris-sized dude on a massive Wolf, that thing's going to be the size of tanks.
Yeah.
So you can't really have units of them running around because the boards. I reckon you get units of 1 if they do it, or they're just going to get the axe. Unfortunately, they're going to get Logan's Khorne corn infused axe.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Well, look, fingers crossed they don't die. I like them, but
They're so cool.
As Justin was saying, I'm a furry, but I'm not.
Whoa. That's a bold claim.
You're a
Projecting.
space wolf loving
I am a
person.
space
You can be.
So-
You can be whatever.
And I
you
do have
are.
Thunder Cavalry at home, so I don't want them to. I don't want the unit to just die. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Because it would be a shame if they do die, because that means you couldn't really play the army.
Well,
not
they'll
the
replace
army.
them with something else.
Not the army. You should really play the unit.
Yeah,
Oh, the
it's
unit, okay,
yeah.
I mean, it is probably the strongest unit in the army currently, Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Yeah, well, because you don't even play them as Space Wolves, you play them as White Scars, because the White Scars have rules that affect mounted units, which is supposed to be the bikes that White Scars have. However, Space Marine bikes are basically one unit, which aren't very good.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But Space Wolves have a mounted unit, Thunderwolf Cavalry, which is really good. And so giving them a rule that makes them even better, who would have thought that, and it's just kind of amusing that they're like, oh, here's this bike detachment rule, and the Space Wolves went, that's our detachment now, because it affects us too. I don't think anyone at Games Workshop quite realised that they were like,
Gotcha.
yeah, I think they were like, oh yeah, Space Wolves do have mounted units, and their mounted units are really, really strong.
Good, That's when theme outweighs.
Yeah.
What have I done? I've made a mess.
Literally.
It was all calculated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what they're saying.
But it's not like Games Workshop is known to accidentally introduce combinations that they didn't think anyone would think of, that then people do think of and becomes overpowered. A la, let's talk about 1st or 10th edition with Dev Wounds and Anti-X. And they didn't realise when they started announcing the rules, the first things people did was go Control F, Dev Wounds, Control F, Anti. Where do they combo? This is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then how GW kind of didn't go, oh wow, people are just going to abuse that. How they didn't think that, I have no idea.
They're just going to sweat through this thing.
I was going to say, the brain of a sweaty comp gamer is a unique beast, and it's very hard to kind of comprehend, I think.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Authentic King.
it caused them to nerf Deathwatch.
Until Gundam. then.
Like 2 weeks into the edition, they had to nerf Deathwatch because people were, on average, at the time you could deal I think it was 70 mortal wounds a turn on average. Bearing in mind, dealing any mortal wounds is very strong. Dealing 70, that's game ending turn one.
Mortal Wounds is crazy.
I guess if you don't know 40k, that scale makes no sense to you. But let's just say in a normal
That number
turn,
just seems big.
say in a normal
Scary.
turn, you might be lucky if you deal 4.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
If you deal 4 mortal wounds through grenades and tank shock, that's it. But yeah, but no, Warhammer, always going to be new stuff with Warhammer.
Yep.
I think we've got our narrative kind of crusade kicking off that we'll probably give you guys updates on soon. It's still just starting, so no real information on it yet, but I'm sure as these podcasts go along, we'll include that in our kind of what we've been up to, hobbies.
Yeah, definitely,
A bit of a chill, man.
Yeah.
Exactly, but
I was going to say, if you've made it this far, 50 likes, Harry and I will do a tier list of all the Primarchs.
yeah.
To rage bait everyone.
Won't even be a proper tier list. It'll be something else.
Yeah.
No.
Who's got the best paws?
It's going to be a tier list, and Ubuse Gilliman is F tier.
Comrade Kurz is S tier.
Yes, yeah.
Comrade Kurz S tier.
Completely unbiased opinion on which Primarchs are the best, and Lehman Ross and Conrad is going to be at the top, and everything else at the bottom. But anyway, but yes. So I think that's us.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up for today. So I've been designated as the team shill. So I will be asking for you to comment, subscribe, do all the good YouTube stuff. And also, maybe add a comment at the bottom about stuff you want to hear about or you want to see on the channel as well, because we're happy to take feedback. But do not complain about the lighting. That's off limits. But anyway, check out other videos that we're going to hopefully show you. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Peace.
Thank you.
So yeah.